Hi, I'm Ashton Greer, founder of Clarity Design Company, which supports small businesses, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs as they navigate the highs and lows of leadership and organizational growth. I am the proud sponsor of The Table and excitedly welcome Amanda Galloway with Country Financial and Magnetic Mindset Coaching to the show. She is not only a dear friend of mine, but she is also a powerhouse in business whom I respect deeply, and I trust her with my insurance and personal development coaching. She continually inspires myself and others to live with purpose. Please join me in warmly welcoming Amanda Galloway to the show.
When people ask what you do, how do you usually describe it?
When I talk to people about what I do, I focus on the passion that I have about my career. And I tell people that I provide financial security, empowerment, and peace of mind to my clients and generations to come.
I love that.
Thanks.
I love that so much. Um, so how did you first get into insurance? I feel like your story when I came into your life, it was much later and you're already established. You have your own brick and mortar and I just want to hear the beginning of it.
It's so eclectic.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I got out of college, my degree was in psychology. So I did some social work for a year, and that was incredibly difficult. So then I transitioned to working for Purdue University, which I worked with them for 7 years. And I had a stint of working at State Farm, but I knew I wanted to do more. So I went and obtained my master's in leadership development. And from there, I transitioned from working at Purdue to going back in insurance. And I never thought I'd get back into it. But ultimately, I made the decision because I am an entrepreneur at heart. I've owned an 8,000 head of hog wing to finish operation. I've owned a distillery.
Wow.
My passion really is in entrepreneurship. So to have the ability to be in a position where I can serve my community, I can work locally, I can expand my business, I'm the one in charge, really felt empowering and the right thing to do.
I love that. Let's see. What moment made you realize that you wanted to add mindset mentoring to your work?
Mm. Because of my degree in psychology, I always sought to be the person to help others. And as I've gotten older and I've experienced a lot in life, I've been the go to person for people to come and ask for advice on certain situations. And I just kept having these moments where people were like, Amanda, just do coaching, go do
Yeah,
coaching.
yeah.
And I had some self limiting beliefs where I was like, no, I felt like an imposter, all those things.
Mm,
And finally, it just got to the point where I was like, no, this is my passion,
mhm.
is empowering people, and mindset and everything along those lines really speaks deeply to my heart. And I know how much of a difference it's made in my life. And I want to share that with other people. So I opened my coaching business, and it's been an incredible experience so far. It just, those jobs where it's not even a job. It's just, you're so passionate and excited about it, and it just fuels you. I have this creative energy coming through that is just so fulfilling and really serves my purpose in life.
Mhm. I love that so much. No, I reached out to you, was it a year ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Had you already started it before that?
No.
No. Were you
Mm.
thinking about it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been thinking about this for at least 5 years.
I noticed all of your Instagram posts were in alignment with the things that I believed and where I wanted to be. And I was just like, I should reach out to her and see if she does this. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're not the only one, and I've had people who resonate with my content, and I I think it empowers me more to share that message because we live in a world where we get on social media and it's so much negativity, and you can really get stuck in that mindset of comparison, and it really robs your life. It robs your happiness, the fulfillment, the purpose, the moment in which you're living. And uh, I want to provide, if people are going to be online, provide some inspirational content
Mhm.
and let people see that there's more to life than living in the hamster wheel.
Oh, I love that so much. That's so true.
Mhm.
I feel like I've always, almost always reposting your content at this point. I love the new Instagram feature where it's like repost, repost because I'm always on TikTok and I'm so glad that they brought that feature to Instagram.
Yeah.
Was there a turning point where you knew you weren't doing a job? You were going to build something bigger? Like, was there like one defining moment? Is there a story behind that?
Yeah, so I don't believe in having a job.
Hmm.
I believe in having a passion project, and whether that is the insurance world or whether that is the coaching world, to me, they're so important and it's not a job. It is a purposeful way to live and giving back to the community and serving with heart. Because when I first started, my dad was like, I can't think of a more boring job than insurance. And,
Really?
I know. And I mean, from an outside perspective looking in, I can understand that people despise talking about insurance, but it's the connection to other people, it's the relationship building that fuels
Mhm.
me, and it's more than insurance, it's more than coaching, it's guiding people through peace of mind and providing just, beautiful well, how do I say this? It's providing peace of mind and empowerment to people in moments where they may not realize that they need it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So essentially, you have insurance, and that's protecting people's futures, and you have mindset, which is creating their futures.
Mhm.
That's so cool. I love how that all connects. Can you share a story of someone whose trajectory shifted because of your work?
That's a great question. The one thing that really comes to mind and has been really powerful for me is actually insurance related. I had a lady who was a client or is a client of mine, and her husband committed suicide. It was totally obviously unexpected, the hardest moment in her life, and she called me. And at that point, it was pretty casual relationship with her. And she calls and she tells me, and she makes $800 a month.
Hmm.
How are you going to live
Right.
sustain a life where you're used to two incomes? And she was like, does my husband have life insurance? And I said, yes, he does. And because of that, it's been able to sustain the life that she's living now. And that relationship has become a really, really neat friendship. And she's just so dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But it has, I've just been so thankful to be able to help people during those times and be able to provide a resource.
Yeah.
It's not, money is not something that I want people to be concerned about in their times of grief
Right.
or of
Mhm.
an accident of some sort.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, that makes sense. Um, what is the hardest obstacle you faced yourself? What did it take to like push through?
Um, so this is not, I won't share the particular situation because it's really close to my heart and I haven't shared it with many people, but it was, when was it? Probably 2018, 2019. I went through a very transitional year, and it was such a growing year for me in a way that I never knew how it would propel me forward in life. And I ended up focusing on outs a purpose for myself. I was able to do something for myself where I was always trying to please people and do things for other people. The situation that happened, I needed to focus on myself and creating a goal for myself.
Mhm.
And that goal was actually bodybuilding. So I competed and did bodybuilding competitions. And that was definitely something that it was a very hard situation, but it worked for me. I'm a true believer and things work for me. They don't work against
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And every situation that I've had that has been incredibly difficult has always led me to a better life somehow,
Hmm.
and then brought me more wisdom that I can share with other people to help them get through their difficult situation.
Hmm.
But life works for us.
I
It
agree.
doesn't work against us.
I think you're right. So, why do you think this work matters here in Vermilion County?
Mm,
Why are you here?
yeah. Well, the work as far as insurance is concerned, and actually even coaching is concerned, is that it provides people peace of mind. With insurance, you build your life with these assets, and you don't want people to be in the position where they're not educated on the kind of insurance that they actually need in order to protect them when they need it the most.
Mm.
As far as coaching is concerned, I think that we can always evolve. And I think in Vermilion County, there's so many people who have dreams
Hmm.
and desires. Maybe they want to build a business or whatever would propel them to happiness in life. They may be slowed down by self-limiting beliefs that could help them move forward and bring more to the county,
Yeah.
bring more to Vermilion County. So I think that getting through those, maybe it's a self-limiting belief that they can't do it, that they have imposter syndrome, whatever it might be. They can get past that and they can actually live a life that they truly want to live
Mm.
that's filled with purpose.
Yeah. Okay, so from your perspective, what separates someone from basically someone who I don't know how to say it really. From someone who just gets by, does the bare minimum, maybe they don't have like the perspective or the drive or maybe the confidence. Confidence might have been what my issue was, just to lead. From your perspective, what separates someone who just gets by from someone who truly leads?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think if we're talking about leadership and what
Mhm.
makes someone overcome
Yeah.
and be a good leader
Yeah.
instead of someone who's just getting by and this is just a job, whatever. Empathy.
Empathy.
Empathy to me is one of the most underrated tools that a true leader can have. I think that if you cannot have empathy for the people who are following you,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to develop any change.
Yeah.
So whether that's in an organization or, even at home,
Yeah.
empathy is so important in order to magnetize change.
So what do you think the difference between empathy and compassion is then?
So empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and seeing it and understanding it from their perspective. I think it's a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
Compassion is, "Oh, I feel so bad for them," but empathy is, "I resonate with you, I feel you.
Hmm.
I understand what you're going through." It's
Yeah.
deeper,
It's deep.
and one of the best leaders that I had during one of the worst times, he called me and he said, "What can I do for you? How can I be there for you?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay right now, work might be suffering and that's okay. Focus on yourself." And that is empathy, that is leadership, is being there for people because a career and personal life, they're not separate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we talk about needing to find balance in life. There's no balance, they coexist. You have a personal life even within work. Your work also follows you throughout your day, even after hours. You're thinking about it. I don't believe that there's any such thing as balance. I think that
No.
there isn't. We've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is about for getting back to the leadership, learning to have empathy for people. And in order to be able to actually help them, you have to understand their perspective.
Interesting. I've also heard other perspectives from people who have gone through really, really hard things. They say that the more you go through them, the less empathy you have. Like you do have compassion,
Mm,
but there comes a point where some people see it as like, no, you can get through this hard thing.
mm,
You'll be fine.
yeah.
Like I do feel your pain, but like you're gonna be fine. I don't know. Like I've just heard like other perspectives, so I was like curious what your
Yeah,
thoughts
so
were. Yeah.
everybody has their own journey, right? And
Yeah.
what has happened to me hasn't happened to you,
Mm,
hopefully not. And what's happened to you hasn't happened to me, right? So
mhm,
everybody's pain point is very different. So I
mhm.
think it's important to let that individual experience that pain point. It is part of their journey. And I think that we live in a society where it's like, oh, just buck up, like
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
But showing compassion, showing empathy, whichever it might be, goes a long way. And allowing to just let that person experience that emotion and just being there for them when they fall. and
Mm.
helping them up when they need,
Yeah.
but it is their experience and
Mhm.
it's not yours. It's not for anybody else to decide whether or not that is, um, you know, I've been through worse, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I, I was actually talking to a friend and we were talking about, gosh, what was I gonna say? Cut that because I totally
Okay.
forgot where I was going with that.
I also feel like the with like the empathy part, like some people take it so far. Like when they hear empathy, they're like, "Oh, I'm taking on their problems. I feel their pain. Like I'm there with them." And it's like
Mhm.
you also at that point, like you're entering into like a different vibration almost.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
it was just I don't know. It's just been something that I've been thinking about lately. I also heard, I don't know if I'll have this on camera, but I also heard recently like a lot of people are trying to find love and understanding in all of the wrong places.
Mm.
Like, in
Yeah.
order to be understood, like, this person has to be on the same vibration as you.
Mm.
Like, if you're in pain, they have to come meet you in that space and be in pain
Yeah.
with you too. And a lot of people are like trying to find love from people who aren't even in the same place or on the same vibration.
Right.
And I was just like, that clicked in my brain because I've had that issue before too. I'm just like, I'm in pain, sit with me. And other people are just like, I cannot,
Yeah.
or like I'm really happy and
Yeah.
they're in pain. And I'm just like, why can't you love me enough to like meet me where I'm at? And I don't know, it's made a lot more sense. Like it's something that I heard recently.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that?
First, I wanna say boundaries is self-love.
Mhm.
It's really important to have empathy for people, but it's kind of like, say you're riding a high and you're feeling really, really good, and you have someone come in and their energy is so low. It's not your job to go down here.
Mm.
It is your job to help them come up here. It may not be quite up here, but
Yeah.
it it is your job to help them get to a better vibration, not to lower yourself because you're only making that situation worse.
Mhm.
So everybody grows up differently and experiences this differently. And a lot of times we figure out how to show empathy based off our parents.
Mhm.
And my mom's perspective on empathy, we still laugh about this. She had a friend who would say, basically like other people have it worse.
Uh-huh.
Or,
Yeah.
if you're sad, like you're only wasting that sadness on yourself. Like nobody else cares. And that's not true
Mm.
empathy. True. And Brene Brown talks about
I
this a
love
lot.
Brené Brown.
Oh, she's amazing. I was coaching her Dare to Lead program
Yeah.
and it was phenomenal. But that was such a transitional moment for me
Mm.
where I realized that empathy is so important, but also creating boundaries for yourself.
Yeah.
So when you are that person who's with someone in this low energy, low vibration,
Mm.
you do have to create a boundary for yourself
Mhm. Mhm.
in order to, and whether that is like showing up for a friend and saying, right now, I do want to talk to you. Let's plan at this time to connect so that you're prepared for that situation because you never know if you're not prepared for the situation, you may not, you may actually go down on their level and
Yeah.
it may.
Okay, what limiting belief do you see the most?
I see this especially in women that, oh, I can't do that because I need to focus on my kids.
Mm.
Oh, and it breaks my heart. And the things that you do not fix on yourself, your kids will inherit. So if you want to teach your kids that it's important to put them first, you're going to teach your children that they will always have to put other people first. It's kind of like the analogy on the plane. You have to put a mask on
Mhm.
yourself before you put it on your child. And it is the same philosophy in life. You have to make sure your bucket is full in order to truly give back to your family or your friends, whatever it might be. So that self-limiting belief, I think, really keeps women from, living maybe a healthier life or fulfilling the dreams that they actually want to fulfill. And they'll distract themselves with their kids'
Mm.
activities and whatever they have going on in their lives, and they don't focus on what they truly need.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like also a lot of people tend to put other people's wants above their needs.
Yeah,
It's wild.
it is wild.
Yeah. So interesting. Okay, so for someone who is listening and who feels stuck, like whether it's financially, whether it is mentally, where do you think like the best place to start would be?
Okay. First, I want to say that everybody's situation is very different, and
Sure.
I want to provide some compassion, empathy for people who might be going through a very difficult time. So, what I say is coming from a place of you need to get yourself out of survival mode first,
Mhm.
because if you're in survival mode, it's really, really, really hard to take that next step. So, I want to say first, finding a way to find balance in yourself and get out of that survival state. The technique that I think is really important is being aware of your thoughts. What are the things that you are saying in your own mind that are creating your daily habits, your
Mhm.
life? Because it is your thoughts that dictate your life.
Yeah.
Your mind is so powerful. So think about, what are those thoughts I'm having? Am I having a consistent limiting belief that is preventing me from taking this next step? If so, I need to flip the script on that.
Mhm.
In order to change thoughts, you have to have repetition. And by doing that, you have to create an affirmation that is different from the self-limiting belief. So, for example, you might say, well, I never have money. Like, money is always an issue for me. There's not enough. We just like live in this society where, with inflation and
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but money is energy. And instead, flip the script and be like, I'm so happy and grateful that I am financially free and abundant. And it's easier said than done, but the more that you are going to create that mindset shift, the more that opportunities are going to come to you. And it's actually it's science based. There's
Mhm.
the reticular activation system in the brain is what filters everything in life.
Mhm.
So if you buy a blue Corvette, you're going to see blue Corvettes everywhere.
It's true. Yeah.
And it is not a coincidence.
Mhm.
It is merely your brain is now seeing that because it's brought to awareness. The
Mhm.
same is true with your thoughts. If you think, oh, there's always something in life, there will always be something in life. But if you choose to see life with gratitude and just so thankful for everything that has come to you, you're going to see the things that are good in your life instead of the bad.
Mhm.
So, first, be aware of your thoughts, reframe your thoughts, practice gratitude. I'm a big
Yeah.
believer in practicing gratitude. Every morning, I write out my goals.
Mhm.
I think it's only 1% of people in life have goals.
Really?
Isn't that
That
wild?
is insane.
Only 1% of people have goals, and there's so much life to live. You only live one life.
Mhm.
Have purpose, have goals, have something that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
And by having those goals, I write them out every day. I write it out every day. I visualize it, I feel it. You probably have seen the documentary The Secret, the movie
Mhm.
The Secret.
Mhm.
What was missing in that movie, and for those who have not watched it, it's about manifestation and
Yeah.
but there's so much science to it, but if you are not feeling it and creating that, if you're not feeling those goals, it's going to be hard to come to fruition because you're going to focus on that lack perspective than
Mhm.
that fulfilling perspective. So you're going to end up creating a life that is filled with purpose and happiness. And it's not easy.
Mhm.
It's the hardest work I've ever done is focusing on my mindset.
Yeah, I feel like
Mhm,
yeah, that's exactly how it worked for me because, like, I used to write it out every single day, like,
mhm,
this is what I want, but,
mhm.
like, I was writing it because it wasn't there, and, like, in my mind, I wasn't, like I don't know, the imagination part that you talk about, like,
Yeah,
visualizing it and feeling it, like, the feeling of it is what brings it in so much faster for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
so
It seems so esoteric, but it is
Mm.
neuroscience.
Yeah, yeah, mhm,
And I have been talking about this more on my coaching page,
mm,
magnetic mindset. And it's really, really neat because it is not woo woo. It is science, and
mhm,
we are in charge of our own lives.
yeah,
We are not the victim of the circumstances outside of ourselves.
that's so true. I feel like a lot of people need to know that.
Mhm.
Okay, last question. What
Okay.
truth about success do you hold that most people would disagree with?
Kindness is not weakness.
Mm, explain.
I believe that kindness and working from your heart is such a beautiful way to live and multiplies throughout life. If
Mhm.
you give kindness to other people, um, it's going to have a domino effect on the rest of their day, hopefully. So anytime someone comes into my office, I'm like, "Ah, how can I show them that, like, this light, this kindness?"
Mhm.
And not as it's not a sign of weakness. It is having that desire to lead with heart
Mhm.
rather than leading with a purpose that's self-serving.
That's so interesting. Well, that's all the questions that I have for you. Thank you for being on the show.